You know, for decades, there's been this whole cloud of mystery hanging over the Pentagon and its relationship with UFOs. We've got whispers, leaked documents, and of course, a whole lot of official denials. So, let's open up this case file, you and me, and see if we can figure out what's really going on. And that really gets us to the heart of the matter, right? The Pentagon has been accused of this for so long, but the real question is, why? Is all this secrecy and misdirection just a giant smokescreen to hide their own top-secret military projects? Or is it meant to conceal a reality that is, well, truly out of this world? All right, so let's start with theory number one. This is the one that's, the most grounded, the one a lot of people think is the most likely. It's all about protecting good old national security. A perfect example of this is Area 51. For the longest time, the official government line was, what? Area 51? It doesn't exist. This kind of absolute denial creates a vacuum. And what rushes in to fill that vacuum? Every theory you can possibly imagine, from reverse-engineered alien ships to secret experiments. It basically becomes the perfect breeding ground for speculation.
And this is where we move from just speculation to what looks like a deliberate strategy. We have reports from back in the 1980s suggesting that using UFO stories as a smokescreen was an actual documented tactic. The logic is kind of brilliant, right? If you have everyone looking up at the sky for little green men, they're probably not paying attention to your new stealth bomber.
So the bottom line of this theory is pretty simple. UFO folklore isn't a bug, it's a feature. It is the perfect camouflage for developing next-gen technology. You get the public chasing these fantastic stories, and it completely distracts them from the very real, very classified hardware you're testing out in the desert. It's a classic misdirection play, all to maintain a military edge.
But that's only one side of the coin. There's a totally different theory, one that argues this whole cover-up isn't about human tech at all. It's about something far, far more profound.
This argument really gets its power from the people who claim they were on the inside. We're talking about retired military personnel, intelligence officers, pilots, people who have come forward with some pretty extraordinary claims.
And this is the absolute core of their testimony. They don't just describe some strange lights. They're describing objects doing things that should be impossible, things that seem to defy our understanding of physics. We're talking about instant acceleration, right-angle turns at supersonic speeds, all with no visible engines or wings. So they argue this points away from any secret human project and towards, well, something else.
So from this point of view, the disinformation has a completely different purpose. It's not about hiding a new jet. It's about preventing the kind of societal chaos that might happen if you confirm extraterrestrial contact. The idea is that you have to slowly manage a reality-altering truth through a controlled narrative so you can avoid global panic.
So here we have the two sides of the coin. On one hand, you've got national security. The strange sightings are just our own advanced tech, and the goal is to keep our military advantage. On the other hand, it's about global stability. The sightings are non-human tech, and the goal is to control a world-changing revelation. It's two completely different reasons for the exact same behavior, secrecy.
But just when you think you've got the two sides figured out, the story takes a modern twist. The government's whole stance has started to shift from outright denial to something different.
First, the language changed. UFO was pretty much replaced by UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. Now, this might seem like a small thing, but it is a huge shift. It's the government officially acknowledging that, yes, there are unexplained things in our skies, even if they won't say what they are.
And you can really see this shift when you look at the timeline. We go from those active disinformation campaigns back in the 80s to the stunning 2017 revelation that a secret Pentagon program was studying these things all along, all the way to the 2020s when the Pentagon itself starts releasing declassified videos of UAP encounters for the entire world to see.
This, of course, creates a whole new puzzle. Is this actually a step towards transparency, a slow, careful move towards revealing the truth? Or is this just a more advanced form of information management? A way to release just enough to keep everyone curious while still controlling the bigger picture.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Because despite all the new information, the new terminology, and the declassified videos, that fundamental question, it's still the same.
Because when you strip it all away, the one thing that's been consistent through all these decades has been a strategy of control. Whether it was through denial, misdirection, or this new selective disclosure, the approach has always been about clouding the truth, not revealing it.
So, we're left with this. Is the end goal here simply to protect advanced human technology and maintain a strategic advantage?
Or is the Pentagon carefully managing the single most important secret in human history, the truth about our place in the cosmos? The answer? Well, it's still out there.